Hey guys, welcome back to Ask Snes. Right, okay, so this week got a lot of questions. I mean, a lot of questions. So I would definitely get a brew, get something to eat, get comfortable, because this is going to be a long video. So yeah, I hope you're ready for this one. So that's good. Right, okay. Just put that down there. Right, so first set of questions are from Sega Sent Me One. Before I start, I just want to say that Sega Sent Me One now is on camera, so he's making gaming videos. So if you want to go and check out his channel, guys, there's a link in the description down below this video. Really nice guy, comes across great on camera, and he's got a really nice Mega Drive collection. And he also got an amazing deal in a charity shop recently, so check out that video because that was pretty impressive stuff. So thank you very much for the questions, mate, appreciate it. And first question is, do you remember a chocolate bar called Secret? And do you remember any old bars that have been discontinued that you would like to see make a return? I don't remember Secret. I'm trying to think what else. Are Wham bars still around? I used to love Wham bars. They were amazing. Yeah, I had a major addiction to them. And those, what they're called? The ones that come in the blue packet, blue and yellow. There's little ones like that, and there was long thin ones that were like sherbet based. They got to still be around. I can't think what they were called. There's also a pink one, those are the strawberry flavour. If you know what they are, guys, let me know, because I can't remember. They were absolutely awesome. Love them. A friend of mine just purchased a new 3DS, and as you can guess, I went home wanting one despite not being a massive handheld guy. I think we all know that, how that feels. Would you ever be tempted in the future to pick one up? Tempted, yes, but am I going to buy one? No. I know I'm not a handheld guy, and so I don't think it's wise. The only handhelds that have ever really impressed me, that I've had a lot of good time with, were the Game Boy Advance SP, and the PSP. The PSP, I loved that when it first came out. I was really addicted to it. And back in the day, the Game Boy likewise. The SP, I didn't play as much, but it was a really great system, and I love the games on that. But yeah, as I've gotten older, the handheld games, I just don't feel it at all. I don't know what it is. I think it's just that as I'm older, I prefer to have a big TV and just sit down and crash on the couch. I can't be holding it for hours on end. Yeah, it just doesn't do it. So no, I won't be buying a new 3DS. You watch me in 12 months time. What is your favourite video game controller of the 21st century? Interesting. So let me see. So that would, I'm just trying to remember that. So that's Wii, 360, PS3, PS4 and Xbox One, isn't it? Yeah, you can't count Dreamcast because that's 99 minutes. That's a tough one. They all have advantages. Like the Wiimote and Nunchuck is really well designed, and it is really cool. And in certain games like GoldenEye is the preferred method for me. I can play it much better with they've got Wiimote and Nunchuck. Unfortunately, longevity wise, that controller doesn't work. Nothing worse when you're sitting there. Right, when I'm playing games, I've got a controller. I want to just rest it on my legs like that and just sit there and play comfortably, look at TV and play the game. With the Wiimote and Nunchuck, I never felt like I could do that because you're always holding them sort of level like that to aim it so the sensor will pick it up. You can't really, it doesn't feel right holding it against your legs like that, and just, yeah, it never worked for me that well. As for PlayStation and Xbox, well, the 360 controller is really good, really sturdy, well made. I actually prefer the PS3 DualShock 3. I love the DualShock 3. A lot of people criticise it because it's got those terrible slippy triggers on L and R2, which I understand, and it's extremely lightweight. But I actually prefer the lightweight feel to it. I don't know why, it's weird, because you'd think I prefer a more sturdy, heavy controller like the Xbox controller. But there's something about the DualShock 3, it just feels really nice in the hand. The L and R2 are crap, there's no doubt about that. But overall, it's a decent controller. Modern controllers, obviously the Wii gamepad's not a big fan of, to be absolutely honest with you. It's got a lot of benefits, but it's just too big, and it gives me hand cramps after a few hours, so not the best. The Wii U Pro controller is really good, but again, it takes adjustment because they've put the bloody buttons below the sticks instead of above the sticks, and I've got used to it and it doesn't bother me as much now, but I still prefer to have them above the sticks. It's just more natural. It feels more normal for your thumb to go that way. Xbox One controller is really good. A lot of people complain about the bumpers because they only press in one part. I think that, from what I can remember when I had one, they don't press at the top, it's sort of on the side. But I don't know, the problem, I actually found that quite comfortable and quite logical. DualShock 4 is probably going to be my pick as the best controller of the 21st century so far, problem with the DualShock 4 is, obviously some people have had problems with the rubber on the sticks. I've not had that, thank God. The main problem for me is those bloody triggers, because while they're absolutely fantastic for gaming, they're well designed. If you use your PlayStation 4 as a media hub and you want to play Blu-rays and DVDs, or you want to watch YouTube, it's a pain in the arse because you have to constantly turn the controller off, because if you don't and you put it on the couch or the sofa, the triggers always catch and you end up fast forwarding or rewinding through what you're watching, and it's really annoying. So whoever play tested it doesn't watch films and YouTube, they only play games. So it truly is a console just for the gamers, as they say. Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but a bit annoying. But I'd probably go with the DualShock 4, because other than that minor issue, as an actual gaming controller, it's absolutely brilliant. I love the size of the analog sticks. The stiffness is just right. The triggers are absolutely awesome for that. The shoulder buttons feel really good. All the normal buttons feel great. The only thing that ever lets PlayStation down is that bloody D-pad, because they separate the D-pad up. I just can't remember now. Isn't the PS4 one a bit closer together, or it's a solid thing? I can't remember. It's downstairs, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure they've rectified it a little bit. But yeah, that's always been a problem. But then again, the Xbox one has been a solid one from the original, and it was never that good for fighting games. So what can you say? Have you ever taken a Mensa test? And if so, are you happy to share your result? I haven't, mate. I've never tried that, to be quite honest with you. I don't know why I haven't. If anyone doesn't know, Mensa test is just to test your intelligence, basically. It gives you an IQ number. So I need to do that. I don't know if I'd be any good at it, to be honest. I don't know if I'd be able to answer the bloody questions. But yeah, that's an idea, actually. That's a good idea. Have you ever seen the documentary on Oak Island Money Pit? I haven't. It's kind of conspiracy theory, wet dream, but fascinating nonetheless. I've never heard of that, mate, so I'll have a look at that. Ever got into playing a sports game but not actually like the real life sport? Yeah. Usually football games, I don't really play them extensively and like work my way through the league and all that kind of thing when you play FIFA. I'm not a PES guy. I don't really like PES. It's too technical. FIFA's more of an arcade experience. I know it's a lot more technical these days, but yeah, I like the old games, the 16-bit and 8-bit in the arcade, those kind of football games. They're a lot of fun. I don't want to, know all the stats and all that crap. I don't care about that. And I don't want all technical passing and stuff. I just want to kick the ball up and down the field, pass it to my boys, get it in the goal. That's what I like. Same with ice hockey, like the 16-bit NHL games, absolutely brilliant, really fun games. I also like alternatives like future sports like Speedball. Speedball 2 on the Amiga, one of my favourite games on the system, and yeah, absolute classic. So variations on sport are always good. In terms of real sport, as I've said many a time, Wimbledon is the only thing I really take time out of my life to sit down and watch. Other than that, I'm not asked. Kids these days live in a sad world when cereal doesn't come with a free toy inside. That's a very good valid point that I've never even thought about. You're right, I don't. Did you ever put a Frosty's reflector on your BMX? Possibly, yeah. I know we used to get lollipop sticks and stick them on our BMXs and our mountain bikes. Used to jam them in the back wheel so it sounded like a motorbike. Used to just drive around the neighbourhood right down our bikes with fake motorbike sounds. Yeah, there's all the things like, I remember like discs were a big thing on bikes as well, on mountain bikes. You used to have the whole wheel was covered in the disc, except for the bit where the cap is. What the hell was that all about? In multiple colours and things. And they had those little plastic bead things on the spokes as well. I can't remember what they were called, but yeah. But you're right, toys in cereal, that's something that should come back. God, I forgot about that. Do you think soap operas will ever end? How many more years can they keep going? They'll probably just keep going because of the nature of a soap opera, and things are always happening in the world that they can draw from for their stories. So yeah, unfortunately they will continue. They are pretty terrible. Our country in particular has two main soap operas, EastEnders and Coronation Street. Both bloody awful. Out of the two, if you're going to pick one, watch EastEnders, because Coronation Street is terrible. Some of the worst acting and the most diabolical scripts and dialogue you've ever seen. It's absolutely painful to watch. The problem is Coronation Street's stuck in the past and they just moan a lot. EastEnders, they just scream and shout and beat each other up and kill each other. So it depends what you really want to look for. Okay, who is your favourite James Bond, and who's your favourite James Bond villain? I'll be completely honest, I don't know all that much about Bond. I used to dabble with the Bonds when I was growing up. I'd see the films on TV at Christmas and everything, but I've never really been a hardcore Bond fan, up until Daniel Craig, who really turned it around for me. I never liked Pierce Brosnan. It was too cheesy, too Hollywood. I didn't like him anyway as Bond. I don't particularly like him as much of an actor. He's okay. He's not someone who would run out and watch a film. So for me personally, I know people will pick Roger Moore, Sean Connery or Daniel Craig, and I'm going with Daniel Craig. He's absolutely brilliant. He just got it all. He's suave, sophisticated, but also rough and ready and will kick the shit out of anyone who gets in his way. And his films have been absolutely brilliant. Minus Quantum of Solace, which is, debatable movie. But Casino Royale and especially Skyfall, I love Skyfall. So I don't really know much about the classic villains. Obviously there's Oddjob and there's Jaws and there's Scaramanga, and I don't really know much about those films, so I can't really say. And I know Robert Carlyle's in one of the Pierce Brosnan ones, like a bald Russian or something. I don't know. So I'd probably go with the latest movies, and I was going to pick a villain out of the latest movies. Le Chiffre was really cool. That bloke in Quantum of Solace, whose name I can't remember, was shit. But I'd say the best one was Javier Bardem's villain, whose name escapes me at the moment, but in Skyfall, because Skyfall is my favourite Bond film. Absolutely love that movie. It's so brilliant from beginning to end. And yeah, Javier Bardem was so good. Him, Judi Dench and Daniel Craig all playing off each other. Man, cinematic masterpiece. I love that movie. If money was no object, would you just buy up every retro game you could in a huge home, in a game room, or would you continue to pace your collecting? If I won the lottery, right, so say we win a few million quid, or even £1 million, yeah, I'd go mental. I wouldn't care then. I'd just be like, yeah, screw it, full set this, full set that, full set Jaguar, because it's got to be done. But I wouldn't go completely mad. I'd be more contained in, because I've played all the consoles I ever wanted to play now. I know what ones I want to buy, which ones I want to get back. So I wouldn't just buy everything, but I would get a full set of Jaguar games and a console. Jaguar CD as well, get the full set of them, why not? Full set Master System, I'd get, I wouldn't get a full set Mega Drive and Super Famicom because there's not really much point, there's too many games and a lot of games I don't want, so, which really defeats the object of the others, but hey, whatever. Yeah, I'd get an Amiga back probably, because why not, because they're just awesome. I would probably just finally dip my toe into the Commodore 64 and get back into it and say screw it, because I've got the space, I've got the money, I've got the time. I can sit there and wait for them to load, so why not? And of course, Neo Geo would have to do that. If, to be honest, I won £1 million, I'd have a big house and have a separate room, and I'd do a Craigie's Here Again and just fill it with arcade machines. And yeah, that'd be awesome. Although to be fair, I'd only really want Final Fight, Operation Wolf and the free-player pit fights, and I'd be quite content. But a Ninja Turtle, the original Turtles, not the Turtles in Time one, that would be really sweet. And was it Terminator 2, the light gun game? I can't remember. Yeah, that would be fantastic as well. Actually, yeah, I'd probably have Operation Thunderbolt as well, and Time Crisis and Time Crisis 2. Well, Time Crisis 2 is a massive cabinet. But yeah, I think we all would. If we won the lottery, you just wouldn't care, would you? You'd just be like, I'm buying everything. Okay. And finally, do you ever write reviews on Amazon or other websites about games and movies? I don't, mate. Reason being is because you get a lot of dickheads on there. And you get a lot of people leaving fake reviews. You get a lot of people just slagging games and films that just because they can, and they're a bit loony. Then you get other people at the other end who think they're like Roger Ebert, and they're just writing a bloody ridiculously long professional review. And I think, come on, calm down. I suppose it's good in a way if you do that, because I suppose they're doing it because they're hoping that someone might spot it. So yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's just like writing a blog, isn't it, really? Or any other kind of media like YouTube. But I don't myself. No, I've never actually really thought about doing that. And maybe I should, maybe that's the way to do it, because I like to write reviews, and I've tried before, and I've done a pretty decent job, I think. Obviously, if someone was to read it and rewrite it, it probably wouldn't be as good as I thought, but I was happy with the results. So yeah, that's actually not a bad idea when I think about it. We should all do that. When you play a game or you watch a film, go on Amazon and write a proper review, screw it. Yeah, because maybe that is why people do it, because they hope that they might get spotted by someone in the industry. Who knows? Right, so thank you very much for the questions. Appreciate that, mate. Next set of questions from Mus247365. Thank you for the questions. And his first question is, any plans for some new gameplay videos? Been a while since you had one, I think. Well, as it happens, mate, yes, I've got a few coming up in the pipeline. I'm doing a pickup video, which I'll be showing next week. Once that's completed, there will be several gameplays coming off the back of that, and I've got other games on the way in the post, so there'll be gameplays off the back of those as well. So yes, there will be several gameplays coming up soon. I know I have been a bit lax on the gameplay up front, mainly because I had issues with my camera, and trying to shoot that CRT is a pain in the arse. When I had the lowest CRT, it was like it was flat screen, you can record it no problem. But with the Sony Trinitron, it's got a bubble screen, so it's a bitch to focus. But I'm using my phone for my videos now. I've stopped using my camera because A, it shoots a better quality video. The audio is slightly better, it doesn't pick as much background noise up as my camera. And also, more importantly, I don't have to keep changing the battery all the time. So it makes more sense. And it shoots the TV okay. The last gameplay I did, which was the Captain Lang gameplay, that was shot with the phone. And if I set it to 30 frames, 720p, it seems to shoot the TV okay. It's not perfect, you can see that on the video, but it's nowhere near as bad as it normally would be, because normally you just get rolling screens and lines going up the screen and it's a pain in the arse. But yes, the short answer is yes, there's more gameplays to be coming in the next couple of weeks. Have you been getting any use from the original Xbox? I was actually playing it last night as it happens. I just got some games in the other day, so I got to do a video about those as well. So I was playing one of the games last night, one of the classic launch titles, which I absolutely love. Have to say, it still looks stunning as well. Got it hooked up with component cables, and yeah, it's really quite impressive how well that console has aged. Not all of the games look amazing, but there's a good chunk of Xbox games that have really aged well. Graphically, they just look gorgeous. Especially the launch titles, it's really surprising. Obviously, Halo looks dated now compared to what we have at the moment, but I've got to be honest, for its age, it's aged exceptionally well. It should have aged a lot worse than it has, I think. I think it looks really good. Yeah, it's lacking a lot of detail in the areas, of course it is. When you compare it to the anniversary edition on 360, I mean, yeah, there's a massive difference. And I'm sure if you compare it to the Xbox One version, it's humongous. I mean, I've not seen the Xbox One version, but I'm sure it's phenomenal. I'm sure if you just compare the 360 version anniversary to the Xbox One, it's probably better. I would hope so, anyway. Did you get anything for Valentine's Day? Nope. My girlfriend sent me a Japanese physical copy of the recent Strider for PS3. Your girlfriend's quality, mate. Yeah, that's what you call a gift, isn't it? Yeah, I'm single, so I don't get jack shit. Are there any video game arcades still open in your area? Yeah, there are downtown. There's a couple, but to be fair, there are only literally a handful. 3, 4, maybe 5 cabs in there. The majority is gambling, so it's like fruit machines and those push machines that push the coins out. And then I think if I remember right, they've got like those hockey games where you whack it. I can't remember what you call that, what kind of hockey that is, but yeah. I haven't been there for ages, but I know like a couple of years back they had the Terminator Salvation cab in there. But they're very limited now, unfortunately. It's a shame. It ain't like when I was a kid, or any of us for that matter. What do you make of the promises being made by all of the UK political parties in the run-up to the election? Seems like the usual case of over-promising and under-delivering. Yeah, well, obviously. I haven't paid too much attention, to be quite honest with you, because I've already made my mind up that I'm voting Conservative, because there's no choice for me. Liberals I'll never vote for, because it's a total waste of time. UKIP, while they have one policy, which is immigration, which I kind of agree on some parts of that, they're not able to run the country. They're not good enough to run the country. They need a lot more time in politics before they're actually going to be capable of doing that. The Labour Party, I don't trust them as far as I could throw them. They can piss right off. So yeah, Conservatives are my only option. Of course, we're going to end up with another coalition by the look of it. I hope that's not the case, and I hope we do get a clean-cut victory this time. But I think it's going to be another coalition. I mean, they're going to promise anything they can because it's election year, and that's what they do. And unfortunately, like all political parties in all countries, the leader really doesn't have that much control. It's the people who have been in government for years and years and years who shape what the country's going to be. And you're just a figurehead, really. All your policies you want to get through, you're not going to get them through. Same with Barack Obama. He came in 2008 promising hope and change and all of these things. And he's done the best he can. But quite frankly, he was limited by Congress and government, and he can't do what he wants to do. It's as simple as that. The old people that have been there for like 80 years or whatever, they are the ones that control it. They are the ones that can push back and stop things going through. So it doesn't matter what our parties are going to offer. You just have to go with your gut and just follow what they say, and just see if it really lines up with where you feel about the majority of issues. They may not get everything done. I mean, the promises, don't worry about it. I think as long as they're immigration, crime, health, education, their policies line up with your thinking, that's the way you should be voting, I think, to be honest. You're never going to get a party who's 100% the same as you. So you just have to go with the majority of policies that line up with where you fall. That's the way I look at it anyway. So the Liberals are far too soft for me. That's why I would never vote for them. I have considered this year thinking that it would be a good idea to vote for them, to give them a chance to see what they can do, but I just can't do that because I have to think about the country at the end of the day, and the country would go downhill rapidly if they were in power. So I would never vote for a Liberal Party. And so Labour can piss off. Not a chance. Even if they had a good charismatic leader, which they don't. And I just can't trust them. It's too early to trust them after what they did. So, yeah. Anyway, a bit dark. Are you still getting out on your bike watch? Not at the moment, mate. Hence the reason I'm fat and I've put loads of weight on. Yeah, I've been very lazy and I am about to start doing that again. I need to get back on there and just, yeah, stick on it regular because I'm losing control again and I'm not pushing myself like I should do. So that is a thing I've got to do daily. I found that I used to be able to do it like 7 days a week. Then it came up to 5 days a week. And then I found that if I do that, and I don't do it Saturday and Sunday, I don't have the motivation on Monday, so I need to do it 7 days, which is hard. But yeah, I will be getting back out because I've got to lose a lot of weight. So thank you very much for the questions. Okay. Next set of questions, get comfortable guys, from Stu, Skunkworks0, who's asked me a shitload of questions again. So it's going to be a very long part this is, so thanks Stu. He did pre-warn me on Twitter though, so it's alright. Just get me tea, because I'm going to wet the whistle, because otherwise I'm going to dry up. You can't beat a good British cup of tea. Right, okay. First question from Stu. Pretty much everyone would agree that Mario Kart is the Super Mario Kart is the best kart racing game on the Super Nintendo. But what would you say is the second best game in that genre on the system? F-Zero, Biker Mice from Mars, or something else? My limited experience, mate, to be honest with you, because Mario Kart's the main one I've played. So I've played like F1 Exhausted, which doesn't really count, I suppose. I played F-Zero, obviously. Biker Mice from Mars is brilliant. I would actually probably say Biker Mice from Mars. Even though I've had limited time with the game, it's absolutely fantastic. I love the visuals, I love the gameplay style. Yeah, just it's really, F-Zero is really good, but for me it's very basic. As much as it's got an absolutely amazing soundtrack, and it's a really solid game. There's a lot more going on in Biker Mice. You get the power-ups and everything like Mario Kart, so I would probably go with Biker Mice. Have you ever played Captain Commando? It's a quality scroller from Capcom. Got a very good port on the SNES. I haven't yet, mate. That's one that's on my list that I want to get, and it's not too badly priced on the Famicom, so yeah, I will try and pick that up at some point. The box art's a bit shit though. Ninja Bear Hug only recently bought Super Mario World, which is, yeah. But then again, he was a Sega kid when he said, and revealed that he's never played the game. What game or game series have you never played that gamers would be surprised about? Well, any RPG except for Final Fantasy. that's the main one, isn't it? Obviously, because I wouldn't have a clue about any of those RPG games. But mainstream games, oh Jesus Christ, that's a bit of a tough question, mate. I honestly don't know, because for the most part I've dabbled in most games, most of the well-known games anyway. There isn't anything I can actually think of that I haven't, but I'd say any RPG that isn't Final Fantasy, like your Secrets of Mana, Earthbound, none of those games have ever appealed to me. I didn't grow up playing RPGs, so they're not a thing that I want to get into, but who knows, one day, maybe. For me, the 3 most overrated games in the series are Tetris. Really? Okay. All Tony Hawk's games. Come on, Stu, you're taking the piss with that. And Soul Calibur. I can kind of give you that one. What games or game series do you think are overrated? Final Fantasy. Years ago, I would have said Sonic the Hedgehog, but not anymore, because I actually really like the Mega Drive games and the Master System game. Well, not so much number 2, but number 1 was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, okay, Final Fantasy is completely overrated. That's just because I don't like RPGs, and I really can't deal with this turn-based bullshit. It's just beyond me as to what the point of that is. That's not fun gameplay. What else is overrated? Christ. Oh yeah, I know what's overrated. The Batman games, the Arkham games. I tried playing Arkham Asylum. Man, that's boring. I just could not get into that at all. And of course, the last one, Mass Effect. Oh my God, if anyone ever saw that video I made a long time ago, and I tried to play Mass Effect 1, that game is frustrating. How anyone can play a game that way and actually think that that's a fun way to play games with the leveling up thing is beyond me. It's just absolute bollocks. It's just so frustrating. Yeah, definitely those three. I can't believe you put Tetris on the list. And Tony Hawk, come on man, Tony Hawk 1 and 2 and 3 as well, but especially number 2. Number 2 is fantastic. That's amazing. What is a typical SNES-tastic breakfast? Depends on what cereals I bought. Weetabix, raisin wheats, which I love, crunchy nut cornflakes, which are absolutely awesome, or toast, because you can't beat toast. You've got to have marmalade or peanut butter on that as well. Marmalade with the bits as well. I don't do the shredless. Shredless is bullshit. You're gonna have shred marmalade. When you were a kid in Birmingham, did you used to go trick or treating? I did once, and that's it as far as I can remember. That was when I was really young, before my teens. But yeah, I can vaguely remember doing it with some of the guys who used to live around me. But yeah, I can't really remember too much about it, if I'm honest, Joe. Given the choice between 2 versions of a game, one slightly better looking and one of which plays slightly better, such as the arcade version of Turtles in Time compared to the Super Nintendo version, which would you take? So, one slightly better looking, one which plays slightly better, such as the arcade version of Turtles compared to SNES, which would you take? I'd have to take the one that plays slightly better, because graphics are one thing. It's nice to have pretty visuals. We all like that. It immerses you into the game more. But for me, if it ain't got solid gameplay, there's no point playing it. And if one version plays better than the other, then I'm going to pick that one every time. Which Street Fighter 2 character has the best ending? For me, I've always liked Zangief's ending where Gorbachev and Zangief dance. Yeah, I forgot about that. To be fair, I can't remember a lot of the endings, and I always play with Ryu, so that's going to be my answer, because if I remember rightly, it's the waterfall in it when he does the dragon punch in front of the waterfall, which is really good. Chun-Li had a really decent ending as well, but it's been that long since I completed it with any other characters. So I know as a kid I went through most of the characters, if not all of them. But yeah, I forgot about Gorbachev. What were they thinking with that? That's brilliant. If you had to make a gamepad made up of the sticks, buttons, D-pad and triggers of the DualShock 4 and Xbox One pad, which parts of those 2 pads would you choose? Would you use? I'd probably take the analog sticks of the Xbox One, because it has those nice grips on top and you've got less chance of the rubber getting burnt off. The triggers of the DualShock 4, probably the shoulder buttons of the DualShock 4 as well. As much as I don't mind the Xbox One DualShock, the Xbox One shoulder buttons, the DualShock's got better shoulder buttons. I would take the D-pad from the Xbox because it's better. The actual 4 buttons doesn't really matter because they're all pretty much the same. There's slight variation in texture, but I think, to be fair, I'm happy with either of those. Although I'll probably lean more towards the PlayStation because they're a bit softer. What else is there? I would also take the PlayStation button from the middle as well, because I prefer that to the way Xbox do their one. So yeah, that's what I'd do. And I'd also take the grips from the PlayStation DualShock 4 as well, because they're longer and rounded and they feel really good in the hand. I mean, the Xbox feels good, but I prefer the grip on the DualShock 4. I've never seen you sneeze on camera in any of your vids. Okay, given the many hours of footage of you I've seen and the lack of any editing until recently, well, not really. The only editing I do is at the beginning and the end. I put a beginning and end on the video. I don't edit the actual video when I'm talking. You should have sneezed at least once on camera over the years. Do you just not sneeze very often? I don't really know. No, I don't very often at all. I'm sure I have on video at some point, you know. I must have done at one point. But yeah, it's weird. It never really seems to happen anymore. But no, I never ever edit any of the video when I'm actually on screen. So I don't do all this jump cut bollocks like a lot of people do. He does my head in, that does. So as a viewer, it annoys me, so I don't do it. So when you watch my videos, they are raw and uncut, and that's why they're so long. And I know some people don't like it, but a lot of people do, so there you go. You can't please everyone. Back in the day, did you used to buy pop off the pop man? Yeah, he's come out in a big van or a big truck. I mean, it's like one of them flatbed things, wasn't it? Remember rightly. He come out in his van and sell glass pop bottles of pop with weird flavours that you'd only ever see when getting from the pop man. Yeah, dandelion and burdock, yeah, and cream soda. So dandelion and burdock was one of my absolute favourites, mate. I used to always go for that one. It's absolutely, if you never tried dandelion and burdock, without doubt one of the best pops or sodas for Americans. It's just amazing. Yeah, it's a weird concept really. The blokes to come around in the van, And when I used to go and visit my cousin, there used to be a bloke that used to come and sell chips from his van and stuff as well. And yeah, that was really nice. Sorry, for Americans, fries. Sometimes I have to think. I never think about converting things for different people. Could you cook a spag bowl? Probably not. A standard meat and 2 veg, or a Sunday roast, or would you balls them up? Stu can do the first 2, but probably mess up the roast. The roast would be a bit easier because it's all about timing. I'm quite good with that. It's just balancing it and working out what's going to be cooked first and getting it in the right order so it all comes together. So I could probably work that one out. Meat and 2 veg, yeah, that's pretty straightforward. You can't go wrong with that one. The spaghetti bolognese, not so much I'd have to work on it because just getting spaghetti right and knowing how to cook it right so it's like tender. Or I know some people like it al dente, but I don't. I don't like anything al dente. I like it a bit soft. yeah. Do you dip biscuits in your tea? And if so, what are some of your faves to dip? I think the standard rich tea biscuit dips well. It does, but they've changed the recipe on the rich tea and it's become a lot stronger. It used to be you dip it in and you have to whip it straight out because it just collapsed. Whereas now you can like hold it for like maybe 30 seconds and it's still not soaked, which is a bit weird. My favourites are like standard digestives, not without the chocolate. They are amazing. Also, I love a jammy dodger. You can't beat a jammy dodger in your tea. If you're watching Kind of Funny, Stu, by the way, if you've seen the episode this morning, they missed the trick there. Gary Witter should have told them dip it in the tea because it's just the best. The way the jam just melts and yeah, awesome. Also, I like Nice biscuits. They are absolutely fantastic. And I like fig rolls and Garibaldi's are some of my favourites. And they're really nice when you dip them in your tea. They're absolutely quality. And you can't beat a chocolate bourbon as well. Anyway, right, next one. Do you remember 80s cartoon series such as Super Ted? Hell yes. The Family Nest, I forgot about that one, mate. That's a quality show. Penny Crayon, yeah, I remember that one. Charlie Chalk, I sort of vaguely remember that one. Going back to those old British cartoons now, they are a patch on stuff like Turtles or Thundercats. But at the time, they were some of my favourites. Yeah, and Banana Man, don't forget Banana Man. Yeah, they were really cool. Super Ted was brilliant. I haven't watched Super Ted since I was a kid, so you might be right, it might be terrible. But quite frankly, even though I love Mask, the animation ain't the best, and Transformers isn't brilliant. You know, it's a great show, but I mean, you know, purely nostalgic. If I didn't have any nostalgia for it, I'd be like, what the hell is this? But yeah, I see your point there. When was the last time you missed an entire night's sleep? Never. I don't miss out on sleep, mate. It's the most important thing. Well, one thing I love more than anything is sleeping. What's worse? Treading on an upturned plug, some Lego, or a drawing pin in bare feet, Lego, because all the knobbles and the shapes and it just digs in your foot and it's just brutal. Did you used to go to Laser Quest back in the day? I did in Acox Green, mate, which is not far from where you are, if I remember rightly. There was one closer to me, there you go, that I used to go to all the time. Actual Laser Quest game was okay. Main attraction was the arcade cabs. It was the first time I saw Killer Instinct. A favourite of mine back in the day. Yeah, I used to go to Laser Quest in Acox Green, just on the other side. There's I might remember there's an island in the middle of Acox Green, the shops all around it, and the big Laser Quest over on the side. I don't know if it's still there or not, but yeah, I used to go there. Because there used to be a way, if anyone's ever been to Acox Green Laser Quest, there used to be a way you could cheat. Because from what I can remember, there's a ramp that went down, and there was a platform above, and people used to hide in there, and you couldn't see they were there, and they used to get you, and they ended up blocking it off to stop people getting in there. But I used to love Laser Quest. Laser Quest was awesome. Oh. For anyone that doesn't know what Laser Quest is, just some people might not know what that is. It's that thing where you strap a pack to your body and you have a gun that fires lasers, and when it hits that, it impacts and it makes that noise and you've been hit. I'm sure most people will know what it is, but if you don't, there you go. Just in case any young people watching, like I'm that old. Do you consider yourself British or English? English, because I'm from England. But unfortunately, that has negative connotations these days, so it's not really acceptable in modern society to call yourself English. You have to call yourself British for some reason, because unfortunately, the far right and the racist arseholes have sort of commandeered that. Like the St George's flag always looks like a racist thing, just like the Union Jack did with the BNP, which is a real shame because we are English. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. The Scottish are proud to be Scottish, the Welsh and the Irish are proud to be Welsh and Irish. So why can't we be proud to be English? Yeah, seems a little ridiculous to me, but there you go. But me personally, I'm not a patriotic person, sorry. I've said that before. To me, it's just a bit of land, and I was lucky to be born here. And I'm very lucky that I was born in England and not born in some countries where life is extremely difficult. And I'm grateful every day that I'm born in this bloody country. We all should be, and should not take it for granted like we do. And people should remember that this country is not Stalinist Russia or communist China or even fascist Germany in 1939. This is England. This is a very safe country. We've got a lot of freedom, and people seem to forget that and seem to get on the high horse about the freedoms being eroded and all that. Ben, if you're watching this, I'm sure you'll have something to say about that. Okay, did you used to watch WWF back in the day? Hell yes, absolutely. Used to watch it on Sky. If so, who were your favourite single wrestler and tag team? For me, I always liked the Ultimate Warrior and Legion of Doom. I was a Hulkamaniac, mate, all the way. 100% Hulkamaniac. I used to watch the Royal Rumble and everything. I just absolutely loved Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was fantastic. There were a lot of really great people back then. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, Mr. Perfect, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage. But Hogan, for me, was just everything. He was just so cool. I just love it, man. And just get the shit kicked out, and he'd get up, rip his shirt off, and he'd go, "Oh!" and he'd just come back and just throw them all out the ring and beat the shit out of him. And it's all staged, but man, it was so fun. And obviously, as a kid, you don't know it's staged. It's just pure entertainment. I absolutely loved it. Tag team, LOD, mate, Legions of Doom, all the way. You can't beat that. Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about modern wrestling. It's too much bullshit now. There's too much hype and too much in the camera crap. There's not enough wrestling. It was better back in the day. They had the drama and everything, but it wasn't like it is now. It's a little bit too contrived now. It's more of a show than it was back then. Nintendo have announced that from now on, there will be exclusive Amiibos tied into certain stores, which is bullshit. I didn't know that. I haven't read that story. For example, the Golden Mario Amiibo, don't really care, will only be available at Walmart in America. So you have to assume there will be similar arrangements made in this country. As someone who collects Amiibos, what do you think of this? I was saying that's bullshit. Because all it does is create a problem. Because if you can't get them, the people are jacking the price on eBay and Amazon anyway, but they really jack it up for them because they'll be collectible and all that bullshit. He says sitting here as a collector, but yeah, I don't like it. To be fair, if it's going to be crap things like Golden Marios, I don't give a toss anyway. Those new Super Mario ones they're bringing out are taking the piss, really. That's just Nintendo just taking the piss out of its fans as usual, and the fans are lapping it up. They're just like, yeah, we're just going to give you a new version of Mario, Luigi, Peach, and we'll throw a crap version of Toad in because we don't want to do a Captain Toad because we want to save that for later on so you can buy it twice. And we'll just change the packaging a little bit. Oh, and by the way, while we're at it, we'll just take Bowser and we'll just turn him around a little bit and we'll just change his pose because we know you'll pay the money and buy it. And they're right because we all do. But I won't. I'm not buying any of those. I've got no interest in those figures whatsoever. So yeah, it depends what they are. If they was to come out and say they got a Zavi exclusive and it's an absolutely amazing figure, I don't know, they've got like a full Star Fox crew set, then yeah, obviously I'm going to go for it. But it is annoying when they do stupid shit like that. They shouldn't be making it exclusive to different stores. I hope to God it's just an American thing. They don't bring it over here. They probably will though. Did you ever play games like Hero Quest, Dungeons and Dragons, or Warhammer? No. Never played any of those, mate, so I've got no idea about them, I'm afraid. You meet the girl of your dreams, but she's a 20-day smoker. Would you compromise or would you kick her to the curb? Out the door, gone, done. Not interested at all. I have no interest in dating anybody that smokes, no way. Bit difficult where I live at the moment because pretty much everyone smokes. It's like a national pastime down here. Do you remember Kid and Play? Yes, absolutely. They were the shit, mate. They used to be in films like House Party and Class Act, yeah. That hair, man, is like, whoa! No, quality. Did you ever go to Drayton Manor when you lived in Birmingham? Yeah, all the time when I was a kid. That and Alton Towers are two theme parks everyone from around here always used to go to. Yeah, Alton Towers doesn't do for me, so I'm not a big roller coaster guy. And back in the day, I don't know what it's like now, but back in the day it was more about roller coasters and I didn't enjoy that. Whereas Drayton Manor was brilliant because you had roller coasters, you had the what do you call them? Oh Jesus Christ! You know, like you had that jungle train thing that used to go through the forest where someone got killed or something. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. What was I thinking of? Oh bloody hell! What they're called? The big bleeding chairs that spin round. What are they called? That's annoying. Anyway, I love them, and dodgems and things like that, and ghost trains and all that sort of stuff. Log flume. So it was a more variety at Drayton Manor. It was much better. Yeah. Didn't like Altaz though. I think I got the American Adventure once. I don't even know where the bloody hell that is, but I remember going there. I've heard the Drayton Manor is bleeding expensive nowadays though. I mean, it was never cheap back in the day, but now apparently it's really bleeding expensive. I remember they had the parachute thing at Drayton Manor, which I never went on because I was terrified of heights. Where they just lift all the way to the top and then just drop in a parachute, comes out. I was like, yeah, bollocks to that. And they had that one which was like two big boats, and they swing like pendulums like that, and they get stuck upside down. It's like, screw that. What are them bleeding chairs called? Let's do my heading, because I know you're all sitting there going, tell me what it is, but I can't think what they're called. God, that's annoying. Would you be able to handle the loss of privacy associated with making it big on YouTube? Having your own Wikipedia page about your life, thousands of people who think you are great, and thousands who think you're a twat, bickering in the comment section of every video you do. It's basically the same thing as being a reality TV star, and I think it takes a specific sort of person to be able to enjoy that sort of life. It certainly does. You're absolutely right. I would like to think that I could handle it. I don't know. I don't know. It depends. I mean, if you're talking like big, I mean, to me, big is like 100,000 is big, but then you've got. There was I was watching the Bake Off last night. There's the comedy, comic relief Bake Off, and there's a girl on there apparently who's got like 5 million views, and she makes cupcakes. Now, to me, that is big. That's like proper YouTube stardom. If you like hit 1 million subscribers, you've made it to the top. And I don't know how you would handle something like that, because that is the kind of thing where you're going out on the street and people are going to recognise you. And quite frankly, I think my small experience of YouTube, because I'm at a very small channel, but from what I've experienced so far, the majority of people are really nice and friendly and polite. And I think it all comes down to about you, the person who makes the video, how you would come across on camera, how you interact with people that watch your videos and comment on your videos, and how you interact with people on Twitter, Facebook, etc. It's all about your personality. If you're a good person, you're generally going to attract good people. So I don't really think it would make that much difference to me personally. If I was to wake up tomorrow and some massive channel has come across my channel, likes what I'm doing, and they're giving me a shout out, and say 500,000 of their subscribers have just piled into my channel and subscribed, never going to happen, but say that happens to happen, and overnight I've become a YouTube sensation, I've gone viral, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest, to be honest. It'd be a bit weird, it'd be a bit difficult, because you are really going to get a good cross-section of society, and you're going to get a lot of nutters, obviously, like everybody. I mean, even on our level at the moment, all of us, you know, you get the odd twat that leaves stupid comments. It's just how you deal with it, really. I think that's it. But I think, yeah, I don't think I'd have a problem with it, to be honest with you. But, you know, it's never going to happen, so it doesn't really matter, does it? But who knows, maybe it would destroy me. I don't think it would. I think I'd quite enjoy it, actually. How do you have your eggs? How about nice soft boiled egg for chucky eggs, as I call them? Or chucky eggs, I call them, with toasted soldiers. I ain't had a boiled egg with soldiers in years, and that's something I absolutely love. These days are more fried egg, omelettes. I like scrambled egg a lot. Scrambled egg on toast, bit of black pepper on top of that. Absolutely spot on. Home meal toast as well, none of this white bread crap. Yeah, I do like white bread, it's just not good for you. Right, not that it matters the size of me at the moment, it's irrelevant. Do you enjoy walking in the rain? I love it, mate, nothing better. Hood up, umbrella, it's just, yeah, it's the atmosphere. I remember, I might have said about this before, I don't know. When I was a kid, I remember years ago, cycling in the rain. The storm came, I was outside my bike, I was on my way home. I was only a young kid, and it just started pissing down rain. And a storm came, and it was lightning and thunder and everything. And it was scary, but it was just brilliant. I just love rain. Whether you're in the house and you can hear it against the window, and it's dark. I love it when it starts getting darker and darker and darker, and your house turns dark, and then the rain comes down and the storm kicks in. But I just love walking in it, yeah. It's just, there's something nice about it, something very relaxing. Ever tempted by Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo? While it is a full-blown menu-driven RPG, the Mario setting and fun Mario style moves, like jumping on the enemies' heads, makes it a very accessible game for an RPG noob. Jesus. Yeah, I would give it a try if it wasn't so expensive, to be quite honest. But as I said, with RPGs, mate, I need my hand holding. I need someone to sit there and say, this is how you approach an RPG, this is what you need to do. Because I just don't understand the concept of how they work. But never say never, that's my answer. You're elected Prime Minister, oh Jesus, here we go, and have to select members of your government from amongst other YouTubers. Who would be your Deputy Prime Minister, and who would you trust with the economy, and who would make the toast in the morning? Deputy Prime Minister, that would be Alex Blutonic78, because we're on the same wavelength in terms of politics. So I think we'd be able to get a lot done, because we'd be able to agree on quite a few things. The country probably wouldn't like the way it went, but you know, it probably end up being quite a radical shift in politics, I think. Who would you trust with the economy? I don't know how anybody would approach the economy. That's really hard. I'll probably get two people to work on it. I get Jay and Dave, Cybersnake7 and Retro Dave Nintendo. They can work on the economy. And then making a toast, I'll get two UK to do that for me. Can you remember the first time you used the internet? Not the specific first time, but I do remember around that era, 98, 99. 99 especially, because as I've said before, I was using Real Player quite a lot to get music and finding chat rooms and things, and using play.com to import films from America. Yeah, they were really cool. It's really weird to think back to then, to the way it was. I remember we had like a special, the third bedroom, which was like a tiny box room. My dad had his computer set up in there. I used to sit in there and I used to put my CDs on, play my tunes, go in chat rooms, just hang out, chatting shit, listen to new music, finding new artists on Real Player, which, if anyone remembers Real Player, the quality was god awful. How I ever listened to that, I'll never know. Back in the days of Kazaa as well, in the early 2000s. Yeah, how that ever worked without broadband, Jesus Christ. If you ever get the chance to be on Nightmare, the epic show from back in the day, would you have liked to have been the player who's in the game world, or one of the kids advising him and telling him where to go, what to do? I would be one of the players, because quite frankly, watching that program now on YouTube, if you watch it and the puzzles they were given, they were just ridiculous. How those kids worked those out. They were like A-level graduate, bloody Christ knows what. I mean, they were like university kids, because there's no way that normal kids would have worked those riddles out. Because I sat there and I was just like, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. I didn't realise that as a kid, obviously, but as an adult, I'm just like, what? So yeah, I would definitely be the pawn. I don't want to be the people having to work it all out. Would you buy Final Fight Guy on the Super Famicom just to have the full set? Absolutely yes, and I have considered it. Unfortunately, if you want it complete with the CD, I think it's about a ton now, and it's around about 100 quid, which I just can't bring myself to pay, because I don't want the game. I'll never play it. But just to complete the set, I probably will end up doing that, but it won't be for a while. I'm not bothered. I'd rather get Final Fight and Final Fight Tough first, because I've got Final Fight 2. But yeah, I mean, 10 years ago I had all 4 of them. Bloody annoying. I don't think I had the CD though with Final Fight Tough, Final Fight Guy, sorry. Pretty certain I didn't. But yeah, I had all 4 of them. Bloody annoying. Do your parents ever play video games, and what do they think of your retro collection? No, they don't play games at all. My dad used to, back in the day in the 80s, used to play games on his Commodore. He'd play with me like Hunchback and Bruce Lee, and that, mostly Hunchback. Dad's favourite game of all time is Phoenix on the arcades. He's very good at that. Mum doesn't play at all, she's got no interest. Yeah, they're collecting, they're not bothered. As long as I'm not like putting myself in a hole, which has happened a few times. Yeah, as long as I'm careful with my finances, they're not that bothered. I mean, like YouTube and that, I'm lucky in the fact that my parents don't really care. They just let me get on with it. You know, I mean, I'm 37 years old, I can do what I want, but you know, obviously I know some people do worry about what other people think about what they're doing on YouTube and retro collecting and stuff. I don't give a shit. You know, I do what I do, it's my hobby, and I'm happy to share it with people, so. What do you think of Stella? Not everyone like the taste. That's a beer, by the way, for anyone outside the UK, Stella Artois. Also, when you drink lager, which brands do you prefer? I can't stand Stella, man. Wife Beater is disgusting. It's the most vile drink on the planet. Not as bad as Tennant Super, which is really disgusting, and a Tramp's drink, but yeah, Stella is rank. For me, it's Foster's all the way, mate. I love Foster's. Back in the day, I used to drink, was it Foster's Ice? I also like Miller as well. Miller in the bottles was really nice. That's a gorgeous drink. But these days, I just drink pints of Foster's from the tap or from the can. I don't drink from the can, by the way. I pour it into a glass, never a pint. I'm not a heathen. But yeah, Foster's is my drink of choice. Beef or pickled onion, Monster Munch? Pickled onion, definitely. Nintendo announces that Star Fox U will be a digital-only download title. Never going to happen. Do you stick to your guns or do you download and play it? Well, I would not. At the moment, I don't have a Wii U. I sold it, so it doesn't make any difference to me, quite honestly. But if I was to buy a Wii U back, and quite frankly, I don't think I'm going to buy another Wii U now. I was going to mention it, but I decided not to because I didn't want to get into all that again. I'm not going to be making another video about my thoughts on Nintendo at the moment because, quite frankly, you've heard enough as it is, I think, guys. But yeah, at the moment, I've given up on Nintendo, so yeah, it's a shame really, but there you go. I will still keep my eye on Star Fox U and find out what happens with it though. But yes, I've definitely lost interest. Not in Star Fox, just in Nintendo as a company. Black or white pepper, English or French mustard, skimmed or semi-skimmed milk, white or brown bread, soft or hard cheese. Black or white pepper, black, don't do white pepper. English or French mustard, I don't know if I've ever tried French, so I'll go with English, but I'm sure they'll probably taste just as good. Skimmed or semi-skimmed milk, semi-skimmed all the way. I don't know full fat either, that's disgusting. White or brown bread. White bread for toast is fantastic, especially crust, because crust is the best bit, especially if you have extra thick and all quality. But generally nowadays, brown bread, because it's better for you, there's no chemicals and shit in it. I mean, someone's going to tell me there is now, but I mean, it's not. I know that, as far as I understand, bread is brown by nature, and then white bread is bleached or something to make it that way. So yeah, it could be utter bollocks, I don't know, but there you go. Soft or hard cheese, never really thought about that. Cheese is cheese to me, whatever, I don't mind. Edam, just cheddar, whatever. I ain't fussed, I love cheese. It has to be mature or extra mature, that's got to have some bloody flavour to it. I used to like Stilton, but I've gone off that, it's disgusting there. Which is a shame because I really liked that back in the day. Which YouTubers, if any, have you watched every single video they've ever made? Oh my god. I can't honestly say that I have watched every single video that a YouTuber's made. Not anything that comes to mind, because there's always going to be occasions where somebody will post a video I'm not interested in. Like for example, Blue Tonic, best man on YouTube, known him for years now, and we both agree that you don't watch every video that someone puts up, because at the end of the day, you're not always going to be interested in what someone's putting up, and that's absolutely fine. He'll put football videos up which I have not got a clue about and no interest in watching, and he knows that. But you know, I watch everything else he puts up, so it all balances out. Just like, you know, I put vinyl videos up that don't get a lot of views. There's a very small amount of people that are interested in watching that. Totally fine, but I'm just happy that somebody wants to watch it. I don't expect a load of views on those videos. So yeah, I can't really say there's anybody that I've actually watched every single video. When the greatest ever Britain was voted for a few years ago, the winner was Winston Churchill. Would this have been your choice? Probably. I mean, it's pretty bloody hard to beat Winston Churchill. He got us through the war and he stopped the Germans defeating us. So I think he pretty much deserves that accolade. I don't honestly think who else you could pick. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of choice. Obviously, when you look at the list, you might be a bit surprised actually. But I think, yeah, Winston Churchill. Yeah, it's hard to really go against that decision. So I would probably go with Churchill, or just for a laugh, Tony Blair. No, he really isn't. Thanks for being a good sport and answering all of these questions. At least mine are over now. Thank you, Stu. Right, okay. So I've got a question from Scott, Sega Saturn lad. Thank you, Scott. Who asks, judging by the extremely poor reception Sonic Boom has received, where do you see the franchise heading in the next 10 years? Sega seems to be taking the franchise into a younger market, but show a lack of respect to the history and unfortunately quality too. Generations is truly the only Sonic game I've enjoyed post Dreamcast, and it's a shame to see how the new games are going. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played Sonic Boom, I don't know anything about it, I just know it's got a bad reception so far. I mean, at the moment, I don't know how long it's lasting for. They've got a contract with Nintendo, haven't they, where Sega have put all the Sonic games on the Wii U, and I assume 3DS as well. So I don't know how long that contract's going to last for. I assume it'll only be a few years. And Sega are now moving into the mobile market as well. So I'm not entirely sure where it's going to go. It's not that Sonic can't be done right, because you look at Donkey Kong Country, and Retro Studios made those last two games, and while they're extremely difficult, and unfortunately I think too difficult, they are exceptionally well made games. They're absolutely brilliant. So I do think that you don't need Sega to make Sonic the Hedgehog to make it good. You can get another company to go and do that. And if they wanted to, they could farm it out to somebody who knows what they're doing. Because yeah, to be fair, you're right, since the Dreamcast, and I would actually say the Dreamcast games aren't particularly amazing anyway. Adventure I didn't like. Adventure 2 was okay, but it wasn't really a true Sonic game. Yeah, I think since the Mega Drive really hasn't had a really solid game. But it can be done. I mean, hopefully, you know, Sega will get off their arse and listen to the fans, and eventually someone will present a proper Sonic game. Just don't make it 3D. I think that's where they fail. Trying to bring it into modern gaming, it doesn't work. It's got to be a 2D game. 3D games, no. Sonic's not made for 3D, I don't think. I really like the look of that Sonic World on the Wii U. I've been told it's crap though, but I thought the demo was quite decent. But for me, playing the old Sonics like Master System and Mega Drive, that's what makes Sonic good. 2D playing. I mean, you can do 2.5D, still make it look great. Just get the gameplay right. But yeah, I personally don't see why they can't just get another company like Nintendo did with Retro, and just get them to be really, you know, involved and to actually give you some fan service. That's a good question, that, Scott. Okay, next set of questions are from Keith, Hewitt. Thank you very much, Keith. A lot of questions. So this is down to Skunkworks Stu, who decided to challenge Keith to ask me 40 questions. So thank you, Stu. So, first question. Today I will ask 40 questions as per Skunkworks challenge on Twitter. Hope you don't mind. No, not at all. That's alright, mate. What's your favourite PC game? Mine is Flight Sim 2004. PC game. Probably going to be obvious. Go Doom. Yeah, Wolfenstein, Doom. Amazing games. I didn't really play a lot of PC games back in the day, so I don't play them at all nowadays, so I would probably go with Doom. It's just brilliant. Have you ever slept funny and woken up with a dead arm or pain somewhere? Yeah, I tend to get an issue at the moment with this shoulder. When I put my arm under this pillow like that to sleep, it seems to be really tight. I don't know why. It seems to be getting quite painful. I have to sort of move around to get it comfortable. It's very weird. What time do you go to bed normally? Around about 11, 12ish, sometimes a bit earlier, but usually around about 11. Do you like Nutella? I can't stand it, mate. It's disgusting. It's the most vile, unnecessary food ever created. It's just nasty. It's probably not as bad as Marmite, but it's pretty bloody close. Do you have a teddy bear from your childhood? No. No, I don't. I was just trying to think now, have I? No, I haven't, no. I was still got my ET one. The ET one was cool. Have you ever considered visiting Great Yarmouth? I haven't, mate, to be quite honest. I don't know where it is. Is that up north? I think it's up north, and I don't think it's down south. I'm probably completely wrong. It's down the bottom there, but I don't know. I'm crap with geography, sorry. What kind of game is best when you're not feeling well? I've said before, I don't really like to game that much when I'm ill. When I'm ill, I want to just crash out on the couch, watch TV, watch films. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be activated. I just want to sit there and just cabbage. That's the best way. Whoa, okay, I adore Toad Treasure Tracker. How are you getting on with it? As I said, I sold the Wii U, so I'm not getting on with it at all. I'll be honest with you, that was part of the reason why, because I played Toad Treasure Tracker, got through the first book. It was good, but again, like Nintendo's games at the moment, I just find them extremely boring and extremely challengeless. There's just nothing there. It's just like, I mean, I know Jay told me that it gets a lot tougher as you go on, but it doesn't motivate me to play them at all. I just have no interest, and I just couldn't be bothered, and I never went back to it. So it's a shame, but there you go. Your enthusiasm for Wii U seems to be reducing. I'm glad you noticed, Keith. I hope not, but is it for real? Yeah, absolutely. It's gone like that, big time. Yeah, so I don't really want to make a video about it because I think it's quite easy to just slag Nintendo, but I'm not going to slag them because there's no need to. I just personally feel that I've lost interest in the system. I feel that Nintendo don't really know where they're going at the moment. It's just not Nintendo of old, is it? You know, Nintendo of old would have done a much better job. How did you find my blog? I've still not got to it, Keith, but I will do, I promise. I will eventually. Just takes me time, mate, that's all. I hope the Wii U has loads more up its sleeve for 2016 and 17. Do you want that too? Would be nice, but quite frankly, I get hyped for games on Wii U, and they just disappoint me, so I'm not that arsed at the moment. You're decorating. The pot of paint is teetering above a priceless Daily Mail newspaper. There's no such thing. That actually contains real news for once. No, I doubt that ever. Or a life-size cardboard cutout of Ellen Page. I'd rather have the real Ellen Page, but which would you push it towards? Daily Mail all the way. Have you ever trodden on a game and ruined it? Not as far as I can remember, no. I tend to be very careful with my games. I put them back on the shelf and You know, take it out, put it in the machine, put the box back, and then bring the box back, put the game in, put it away. I really want Starfighter and Jedi Starfighter for PS2. Ever heard of them before? I haven't, and I will look into those. What is your typical of choice with a curry? Pretty standard, like chicken curry, madras. I don't go too hot because it kind of ruins it for me. I like flavour more than I do spice. So yeah, anything with chicken in. If YouTube or any other internet video service didn't exist, do you think TV would be more interesting? British TV, no, because it just went downhill. I think they've just gone down an avenue with reality TV ever since Big Brother, and they've ruined it. So just watch American TV. You can't go wrong. American TV is far superior. Who's your favourite game developer? Naughty Dog, easily. If you're talking modern gaming, if you're talking old school, Capcom and Konami, definitely. Do I like Nutella on top of a pizza? No, that's just wrong. That's just evil, that is, mate. Halfway there, thank you. What is the best thing about the Wii U in your opinion? Bugger all at the moment. Just the ecosystem. That's the only thing, really. Yeah, I would probably say that's the only thing. Just being able to, like, the fact that people do amazing drawings on the gamepad and share them, the community. Although it is very, very much policed by Nintendo, which I'm not really a big fan of. But yeah, that's probably the best thing they've done on it. Have you ever gotten a premonition about what a YouTube commenter looks like without seeing a photo of them? I take that's because I hadn't seen your picture until Twitter. No, I don't really get a sense of what someone looks like. It's hard to tell from a comment, really, isn't it? It's always interesting when you do actually see the person on video or a picture, because it's generally not what you're expecting, I think, to be honest. I think in terms of just being like, they're just a normal person. When they're anonymous, you kind of get this sense of like this mysterious person. But when you actually see them, like, I saw Sega sent me one this week for the first time, and it's just a normal bloke. It's like, I don't know why I didn't think that would be the case, but can there be more than one Mario Kart on a Nintendo system? I don't think there needs to be. Quite frankly, they're not getting Mario Kart right anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They haven't got it right since the Super Nintendo. What do you hope for? What do you hope from a Nintendo Wii U successor? A good console with a normal controller, no gimmicks. Nintendo getting a grip on themselves and making good solid games with a level of challenge. I don't want them to be extremely difficult. I don't want them to be piss easy like that. Stop all the hand-holding with all that cobblers where if you die about 6 times, it goes, would you like me to show you to the end of the level and complete it for you? No. I want to play the game until I do it myself, thank you. Also, get off their arse and win the third parties back and start getting them involved and start realising that this is the year 2015 and actually start making games that are relevant and, you know, come up to date with the rest of the bleeding gaming industry would be nice. We all love Nintendo's titles, but quite frankly, they're just being lazy and they're taking the piss. And they're taking the piss out of the fans, which they have done for years. And you can debate that as much as you want, Nintendo fans. I'm a Nintendo fan, but they do take the piss out of the fans and we all stand for it. As I say, like the Amiibos, they just re-release the same figures in different poses or with different cardboard, and people buy them. And it's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Do what you want with your money, it's your money. But I just think, you know, it's kind of insulting in a way. You wouldn't stand for it with Sony and Microsoft, but we do with Nintendo. And that's mainly down to nostalgia for us, I think. Every Nintendo home console brings a new feature on the controller. This feature is then inherited to all the later consoles, i.e. the analog stick on the N64, the motion controls on the Wii. That means there will probably be a touchscreen on all future Nintendo home consoles. I hope to God there isn't. What do you think of that? I hope there isn't, mate. I hope that don't. I just want them to make a traditional controller. Just get rid of all the gimmicks and all the bullshit. All people want when they're playing games is to sit there with a controller, with a console on, big TV, and just sit there and play your game. I don't want to be waggling shit around, I don't want to be pissing about the screen. The problem with the Wii U gamepad, as cool as it is, you spend most of the time looking at the gamepad, not looking at the TV. Kind of pointless when you've got a nice brand new TV sitting there, you know, a nice HD TV. So yeah, just don't do that. Have I ever seen House MD? I haven't. I've seen little bits of it. I've never actually watched the whole thing. Okay, apparently in Series 1, the main character played by Hugh Laurie plays on a Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP. Oh, cool. Then in Series 2, he plays an original DS. Oh, okay. Both new consoles at the time of airing. Okay. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, the reason I don't watch it is his accent. Apparently it's a legitimate accent. It's quite respected by Americans. I personally don't find it very believable. I found it kind of irritating, so I never watched the show because of that. Are there any Italian cafes around your area? Not those chain ones. I mean, not as far as I'm aware. There's an Italian restaurant, but I don't think there's an Italian cafe. Yeah, we've got like the chain restaurants. We've got like Cafe Nero. The other ones I can't remember now. We ain't got Starbucks, which is bloody irritating, because that is the best one. What is your favourite bubble bath? I like Radox. I don't use it, mate. I don't bathe. I use showers. Sky News is a great comedy show, definitely. But what is the worst? The worst comedy show is gonna be what's it called? Shit. Hang on. Gonna come to me in a minute. Citizen Khan. If you've ever watched that, it's terrible. I applaud them for doing what they're doing, and you know I understand the reason for the show, to try and bring communities together and to try and show the lighter side of life. But it's so outdated. It's like a 70s comedy, and you know, there's not wrong with 70s comedy, but they don't really work in 2015, and it's just terrible. The jokes are so bad. I sat there watching it one night. I was like, "What am I doing?" I had to flip the channel. It was terrible. Can a pigeon look backwards? No, I don't think so. What graphics are your limit before the console no longer appeals? Mine is 16-bit, so anything before SNES and Mega Drive doesn't appeal to me really, and pre-Game Boy Advance doesn't appeal either. Nothing, mate. I can play Atari. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. I can quite happily. I found that out a couple of years back. I picked up one of those Atari sticks that you just plug and play, and I put Asteroids on and Missile Command, and I was just sitting there. I was hooked. It's not about graphics to me. As I say, it's all about gameplay. Pretty visuals really help. But more than anything, the gameplay. If the game's fun, I don't care. Space Invaders, Pac-Man, Asteroids, Missile Command, all classic games which are really simple and just really fun. So no, I've never ever been put off by any of them. I don't know why. It just doesn't bother me. My brain just goes accepts what it is, and that's it. I just play the game. If I enjoy the game, that's all that matters to me. Are there any sections of music games that you most like, that you like to play just to listen to? Sometimes load up Mario Kart 8 just to hear the intro music. Not really. The only ones that really do it for me is like Uncharted at the moment. When you load that up and the menu screen comes, I love that music. Brilliant. And Halo as well. Awesome. I mean, retro games, yeah, there's just tons of them. But I'm not someone who actually sits there and listens to the music. Only when I'm playing the game, I don't go out of my way to put it in the car or put it on the stereo and things like that, buy soundtracks. Ever been the subject of an eBay scam? Yeah, a couple of times. I seem to remember something about 6 months ago you said an item never arrived. Mate, I've had several times over the years where people have sold me fake goods, like fake DVDs, and I remember I bought, was it Alias Season 3, I think it was. My own fault, I should have known better, because at the time DVD piracy was quite big on eBay. I bought Season 3 box set. It came from a UK seller, and when it arrived I knew it was fake straight away. The cover, the box cover was completely wrong. It had the wrong characters on it, the print wasn't very good quality. I put the DVD in, and it was the menu from the Series 2, and when you load the episodes, it was the TV episodes from America, because you get the age ratings in the corner. It was completely fake. And so I emailed her and I said politely, like, you know, this is a fake and these are the reasons why. I documented the reasons. Just, you know, don't worry about it. I'll send it back to you and give me a refund, that'll be the end of it. She decided to argue the toss and say it wasn't a fake. And I was like, why would you do that, you stupid cow? Because I'm now going to get your eBay store shut down, which I did. I complained to eBay, got my money back, and they shut it down. So I was like, you're a silly cow, because you could have just let me send it back to you and carried on selling your crap. So, yeah, that was done. What's the least appealing Nintendo console to you? Mine is the Virtual Boy. Probably the Wii. Just because it's a good console and it's got some good games, but it hasn't got a massive, amazing library. It hasn't got, to me personally, it doesn't have a load of games that jump out and make me go, oh wow, yeah, I remember that one, that one, that one. Whereas like the N64, well actually, probably the GameCube as well, the Wii and the GameCube, because they're good consoles, but they never really blew me away. They had some great games. I mean, on the GameCube, I love Mario Sunshine, but they're not phenomenal consoles in any way. I mean, the N64 was the beginning of the decline of Nintendo, in my opinion. The N64 was great games, but when you look at the libraries of the NES and the SNES, Nintendo never bettered those consoles. They haven't even come up to that level, let alone better them. Okay, a very angry lion versus a turnip farmer, okay, versus Ellen Page versus in Smash Bros. Fight. Who would win? Ellen Page. In Beyond Two Souls, she was pretty badass, so I'll go with Ellen Page. What is on your bucket list? Don't answer if it's too personal a question. I haven't got one. I've never even thought about it. One thing I want to do is travel. A lot of countries I want to visit. And if I don't visit them, we're going to end up in a situation where I can't visit them because the world's falling apart. Because every day some country goes up in flames. But that's the main thing, yeah, travel. I got Star Wars Starfighter PS2. Got to say, I love it. Seems like a bit of a hidden gem. A real must for any Star Fox fan, in my opinion. Would you consider buying it, or maybe the sequel Jedi Starfighter? I don't have a PS2. Well, I do have a PS2, but it's on sale at the moment. So if that sells, I won't be able to play it, unfortunately. But I will have a look at it, see what it's like. Who do you think is better at playing Nintendo Duck Hunt? Stevie Wonder, Pingu, or Paul Gascoigne? Well, I'd pay to watch Paul Gascoigne play. That'd be quite funny. So yeah, I'll go with Paul Gascoigne because how are you getting on playing my favourite current gen game, Mario Kart 8? Again, Wii U's been sold. Mario Kart 8 did not do it for me at all. I found it extremely boring. Ellen Page or a lifetime supply of free Nintendo consoles, accessories and games of your choice. Easy. Probably if you pick Ellen Page, she's just going to be a mate, isn't she? That's all she can be. You can't have a romantic relationship with her. And if Nintendo are making decent consoles these days, I'd pick Nintendo, but they're not. So I'd have to go with Ellen Page and have a good friendship. You're decorating. The pot of paint is teetering towards 10 questions on an Ask Snes episode, or 40 questions on the video. Which would you push it towards? Probably the 40, just because I know I'm going to get people saying these videos are too bloody long. But me personally, I don't really care either way, to be honest. Thanks for answering my questions, and thanks Skunkworks for the dare and challenge. Any other challenges, anyone? So if anyone wants to challenge Keith, go for it. Cheers, Keith. So next question from a good mate, Owen Labossu77. Thank you very much, Owen. Nice to see you asking a question, mate. Right, okay, so let me just find the question because he's got a lot of comments as well. Right, okay, so he says, he likes Star Trek films, because we were talking about Star Trek and Star Wars after last week's episode. Right, he says, have you tried giving the reimagined Battlestar Galactica a go? I did try watching season 1, and I got about halfway through it, and I couldn't get into it, to be honest with you, mate. Just really didn't gel with me at all, so I gave up on it. As I say, I've got a lot of American shows that I watch daily, so I have to be very picky with what I watch, because if I'm fitting new shows in, it's just, I've only got so many hours in a day. I thought of a question for this week. Okay, might be a bit of a tough one though. I recently read about Gamergate and tried and failed to watch a couple of AlphaOmegaSin videos. Why do you think feminists get a hard time on the internet? Now, I saw this question last night, so I had a quick Google, because I've seen the AlphaOmegaSin videos where he's chastising that Anita Sarkeesian woman, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I wasn't interested either, to be quite honest. But I looked it up last night on Wikipedia. Apparently Gamergate is some hashtag where feminists are having to go about issues in gaming and the way women are treated and represented, which is fair play. I understand that. I did think that AlphaOmegaSin, as much as I like his videos, a bit over the top, a bit unnecessary. He went after a full force, and I didn't think that was really the right way to do it. A bit in your face. He clearly does it for views. I mean, I've got nothing against the bloke, I don't know him. But I like his videos. I've seen a few of his videos, he's decent. I'm subscribed to him. But I do think that he's doing it for views and to be popular and famous, because after he had a go at her, he put a video up which was titled Anita Sarkeesian called me out on Twitter. So he's clearly looking for views and trying to cause an argument. Think of that whatever you want. I don't really care if anyone has a go at me about that. That's just my opinion. In terms of feminism in gaming, I think feminists in general, mate, to be honest with you, like any small group of people that try and represent a large proportion of society, they start off with good intentions but always lose their way, and they never truly fully represent the views of that community, because there's always going to be people that disagree with them. And I think feminists in their basics are a good idea. Obviously, fight for women's rights is a good thing, important. In terms of gaming, yeah, I do think it's good that it's turning the corner. We're not so much all about the women with the massive breasts and the bouncing boobs and the big asses and the small clothes, and that's only because generally gaming is a male hobby, and the women are much more smaller part of the gaming community. At least they used to be. Not so much nowadays. It's a lot more balanced. Back in the day, it was mostly young men that were playing games, so I understand why they did that and skewed it towards us. And it's nice to see now that you're getting more positive role models like Ellie from Last of Us, obviously the rebooted Tomb Raider, we've got a really good feminine role model in Lara Croft, and then we've got Elena Fisher from Uncharted. So it is changing, and stories are getting written in a more appropriate manner, and women are getting represented the way they should be represented. However, I do think when it comes to feminism and gaming, it's kind of a little ridiculous as well. I think there's more important issues like education, the voting, women getting a fair shake of it in the workplace and getting a fair and equal pay rate, the same as the men, which they should do. I think those are more important issues to be talking about and to be worrying about than a girl or a woman representing the video game wearing small clothes and bouncing boobs. I really don't think that's as relevant as the more important issues of the day. But it is nice that they are turning the corner and they are trying to be a bit more mature about gaming these days. And because that's just because gaming itself has matured and become more of a cinematic experience, and it's more of an interactive movie nowadays. And so you're going to get more serious, intelligent representations of women, I think. So there you go. Next set of questions from LSC Gamer. Thank you very much, mate. And his first question is, do you prefer semi or skim milk? That's weird, I got the same question twice. Semi-skimmed all the way. Whole milk is a bit too creamy for my liking. Hell yeah, it's disgusting. Even though you now own that Crystal Xbox, would you still like to own the Mountain Dew one? That would be nice, but it's not so much the Mountain Dew one, because I think that's American, I'm not sure. It's just the basic cream one with the black jewel. That's the one I like. It seems today that some people can't afford to use manners. Tell me about it. Yet have enough to buy a smartphone. What the hell is the logic in that? Yeah, manners have gone out the window, mate. Basic things, holding doors for people, you know, saying hello, thank you, please, all the usual stuff that most people should have. It doesn't take a lot, and there's no reason not to do it. I hate when I hold a door open, and it happens for men and women, and they just walk through and ignore you. That makes me want to punch someone. That's just, you know, you want to go, what the fuck? You know, why are you ignoring me? You know, be polite. It's just, it doesn't cost anything. There's no reason to not do it. What other 3D platformers are you interested in buying for the PS1? I highly recommend Ape Escape. Definitely a must-own for PS1 enthusiast. I've never played Ape Escape, mate, so that is something I'll look into. I've seen gameplay of it and it looks pretty decent, so yeah, if it's a decent price, I'll pick it up. 3D platformers, I want to get Croc, because I love that Legend of Gobos, great game. The original Spyro, I've never played the sequels, but I really love that. I need to get Crash Bandicoot 3D, or they're 2.5D, I'm not too sure. They look 3D, they'll do. So I need to get Crash 1 and 2, because I've only got number 3, which is my favourite. Yeah, those are the main ones at the moment. I would like to get Klonoa as well at some point. I'm not sure if that's 2.5D as well, to be honest with you. Which European countries would you like to visit for the food, landmarks, culture and friendly people? France, Spain, Italy, Germany. What's that one? Oh, there's the one that I always forget the bloody name of. It's an Eastern European place. Shit. I'll see if it comes to me in a minute, but those are the main countries, yeah. Spain I'm not that arsed about, to be honest with you, but I have been told that Spain's got a lot of nice countryside and nicer places to visit, not so much like the party side, because they're having interest in that. And Greece as well, because it's got a lot of history, of course. You know, they're going through a tough time, but I think Greece would be nice to visit. Nearly had it then, it's just gone again. Damn, that's annoying. What's that place called? That's bloody irritating, my brain just doesn't work. Oh well. What is your favourite Alien vs Predator game? I haven't really got one, if I'm honest with you, mate. Probably the Jaguar. Probably the easy answer, and that's a pretty decent little game. It's not amazing, but it's good. Man, it's so irritating. Oh well. Anyway, how much would your limit be for buying a Super Famicom game? Probably 200 quid, I think. In better circumstances, maybe 3, because Final Fight Tough's going up in price, so it's around about 215 at the moment. It's a pain in the arse. I don't think it's worth that. 150 is about a lot price for that game. But yeah, 200 really. But if I have to go a little bit extra, I would do. I would never go over 500. Let's put it that way. That'd be the absolute ultimate. I really don't want to ever spend that on a game for any console. How much would you limit? If you have cheese on toast, do you have Worcester sauce on top? No, I don't actually, mate. I know that is really nice. I've tried it in the past. Isn't that like French toast or something? I might be completely wrong there. But yeah, that's really nice. But no, usually I just get a big slab of mature or extra mature and just melt the shit out of it so it's absolutely crucified. When it starts going a bit orangey, that's nice, that is. What were your teenage years like living in Birmingham? Alcohol fueled. A lot of hip hop music, R&B, a lot of hip hop music actually, because my friends were really into that. Yeah, just hanging. I think like most people really, just getting pissed off, hanging out with friends, going over the park, chilling, meeting girls, ice skating, arcades, yeah, just dossing around basically, hanging around mates, playing video games. Did you watch Grange Hill or Biker Grove back in the day? I watched Grange Hill a lot. I used to love that when I was a kid. Really good show. Biker Grove sort of watched a little bit of it. Never really got into it. It was alright then. Did you own any Matchbox or Hot Wheels cars as a kid? Not that I can remember. I think I might have had a Matchbox. I'm not certain. Hot Wheels, I think that was friends that owned those, but I can't really remember, to be quite honest with you. Are you a fan of tattoos? On other people, yes, not on myself. Only proper tattoos though. And by proper tattoos, I mean like artistic tattoos where someone is trying to tell a story or retain a memory and they have a really beautiful piece done. I absolutely detest fashion tattoos or people who just like my friend who had tattoos sporadically placed across his body with no real thought as to what he was having done, and that they didn't mean anything, they didn't match up or anything, it just looked crap. I really like sleeves as well. Sleeves look beautiful. But yeah, I don't like fashion I don't like tribal, like when women have like hearts or birds and shit like that, or they have like one on the lower back or one on the stomach, or Chinese writing and Japanese text and that. It's like, nah, don't have a fashion tattoo ever. If you're going to have a tattoo, have it for the right reasons and really think about what you're having done, because it's there for life, it's permanent, and if you try and remove it, it'll kill you, because the laser treatment apparently is horrendous. So yeah, so me personally, I've never had a tattoo because the permanency of it, and I'm a very fickle person, as you know, so that's why I went for body piercing, because you can just have as many piercings as you want and just take them back out afterwards. There's no big deal. Do you like The Walking Dead, or isn't it your cup of tea? I watched season 1, bored the living shit out of me, never watched it again. I just couldn't be bothered, it was so slow. I was just like, get on with it. I know they were trying to tell a more rounded story and more about the people than the zombies, but it's so boring. But I have been told it got better, so yeah. Although recently, apparently the latest one, the first episode of the new season, was apparently pretty bad. What is your favourite theme from Street Fighter 2, Guile? Predictable, I think, because I think most people like that one, but Guile's theme is the best. Do you get any aches or pains due to the cold weather? The only thing I get in cold weather is headaches if I don't wear a hat, because obviously I've got a bald head. So I get a really bad, severe headache, so I have to wear a hat. What is your favourite Adam Sandler film? It's really quite weird, mate, that you've actually asked that question, because I don't like Adam Sandler. I can't stand him as a comedian. I think he's really unfunny, and I don't like his films. However, I recently, watching AMC Movie Tour, they had a question on the mailbag section on the weekend about Adam Sandler, and he was in a film apparently with Don Cheadle called Reign Over Me, where he played a serious role. It's like a post 9/11 film, and it was him playing a straight part, and apparently he's really good in that. And I watched the trailer and I thought the trailer actually looked pretty good, so I have actually got it on Blu-ray. It arrived yesterday. There was a bit of a problem with the shipping on that. The first copy didn't turn up, I had to reship it, but it arrived yesterday, so I'm looking forward to watching that over the weekend, because I really don't like Adam Sandler, but he might turn me around. It's like Jim Carrey. I like his comedy, he's alright, doesn't really do it for me. Don't get me wrong, The Mask and Ace Ventura are brilliant films. But when he did the number 23, I think it was called, and he was just playing it straight, I was really impressed at how good an actor he was. I really enjoyed that film a lot. Do you sometimes get your past tenses wrong? Probably. I can't think of any examples, but most likely. I'm sure people can point them out on video. What is the most angriest you've ever gotten when driving? Usually with pensioners, when old people are driving in front of me on 60 mile an hour road at 35 mile an hour, or sometimes 25, 30 mile an hour, you just want to go mental. Or dickheads in Audis, Beamers, Mercedes that just seem to think they have to drive at 100 mile an hour no matter where they are. And you know, you're going the speed limit. The other day I was going down the dual carriageway, 60 mile an hour, the limit, right, national speed limit. This twat in an Audi comes past me and he must have been doing 75, if not 80. And I was like, what's the point? And all I saw was him fly down in the right hand lane and slam his brakes on because of the car in front of him. I was like, you're a dickhead. I don't understand why people drive like twats in those cars. They just seem to breed twats. I don't know why, but they do. I've only been driving like 4 years, And I've made that assumption that people who drive Audis, Beamers, Mercedes, and taxi drivers are all shit drivers. So there you go. Apologies to anybody who drives those cars. Have you ever played any of the Lost Vikings games? Only the first one on the Super Nintendo, because I used to have it in my collection. Pretty good game, I like that. I like the puzzle element of having to use all three of the Vikings to work out and get through the stage. Yeah, pretty good. It takes a lot of thought, but yeah, good game. What is your favourite cereal? I'm a massive lover of cornflakes. I used to love cornflakes, but they've changed them and they've gone shit. They're just soggy now, they don't crunch. They're just, I mean, they're alright with cold milk, you get a bit of crunch. But I like them with hot milk. Back in the 80s now, I used to have them with hot milk and sugar. And they were delicious. And then again, I don't know if it's down to the cornflakes or it's down to the milk, so I use semi-skim milk, whereas back in the day I used to use sterilised milk. And sterilised milk was awesome. Pasteurised is the best though. Cold pasteurised milk on your Weetabix, oh man, it's absolute nuts. But nowadays, Weetabix, raisin wheats, which are absolutely phenomenal. They used to be called raisin splits back in the day, and they actually tasted better as well. I think most things have had the recipes changed these days, and they taste crapper. Don't know why. They take all the taste and fun out of them. And of course, crunchy nut cornflakes, which I absolutely adore those. So there is a difference for anyone who doesn't know that crunchy nut cornflakes are completely different to normal cornflakes. Normal cornflakes have really gone downhill. Other than cheese and banana sandwiches, what other strange snacks have you invented? Nothing that I can really remember. I mean, variations of the banana and cheese, being that I don't use margarine, I use peanut butter instead, which is absolutely phenomenal, tastes amazing. So yeah, peanut butter across the bread, and then banana and cheese in the middle, quality. Yeah, that's probably the only one really. I don't really know of anything I've really, had anything that I can consider would be bizarre. Have you ever watched Father Ted, The Royal Family, and The League of Gentlemen? None of them. I've watched little bits of Father Ted and The Royal Family, and I don't like either of them. Father Ted, I can watch that, it's quite funny, but Royal Family, I just don't get the Royal Family at all. It's not my humour, I find it quite shite. League of Gentlemen, is that the one with Papa Lazaro? I think that, which is just completely off the wall. It's kind of funny, I kind of like a little bit of that. I've not really watched it extensively, but it's alright. The geezer from that was, he's actually a proper actor, which is weird, because he was in Whitechapel, he was really good in that. Yeah, I think that's the right show. So thanks for the questions, mate, anyway. Next set of questions from Scribble Sam Animation. If anybody's still with me, congratulations. Would you say the PlayStation 2 is a spiritual successor of the Philips CDI? I remember the whole hype of the CDI being games, movies, music and educational all in one box. The PlayStation 2 was similar to this, as you could play PS1 and 2 games, DVDs, CDs. The CDI bombed, but the PS2 became such a smash hit, it lasted over a decade or so. Honestly, Sam, I don't know jack shit about the CDI. I don't know anything about the machine. I wasn't really paying attention to it at the time, but from your description, that makes perfect sense, quite frankly, yeah. I mean, the PlayStation 2 for me was the first time it was a media hub more than a games machine, because as you say, you could play DVDs and CDs on it, which was really cool. I know you don't like anime, but do you like any of the Street Fighter anime movies and or manga comics? I've never watched them, to be quite honest with you, mate. They would probably be something that would be a good idea for me to get into if I'm going to try and watch anime. Because I watched Akira. Akira was brilliant. I really like that. But yeah, I think Street Fighter was probably the best way to go about it. Try and find something that I've got an interest in, and then it'll draw me in more. Do you remember Tazos from Walker's Crisps? If so, did you used to collect them? Those little spinny toys. I'm not sure. I think that's what they are. Tell me if they are or not. I'm probably completely wrong, but I think that's what they are. I've got a vague memory. Last question is, what do you think of Sega now that they have stopped making games for third-party consoles and moved on to making mobile games for tablets and phones? I did talk about this last week. Yeah, if that's what they're going to do, then obviously business, it comes first, and obviously it makes good business sense for them to do that, so that's why they're making that choice. Totally understand that. Me personally, yeah, Sega haven't been the company that they were for a long time, have they really? They're not really pushing them, so they just need to really publish and develop more decent games. It's not hard, is it? It's not rocket science. That's the best way. If mobile's the way they want to go and they think that's going to do the business well, then fair enough. Obviously it upsets all the Sega fans, because all the Sega fans want console games, but it doesn't mean they can't come back and do it. They're still a company, they're still making games, so that they can always turn it around in the future and come back to the consoles. And the last question of today is from Hoodnut197, so thank you very much, mate. I like your avatar, by the way, very cool. Okay, which platform do you prefer for Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Nintendo or Mega Drive? Unfortunately, I've never played the Mega Drive version. I've only played the SNES version. Craig is here again has actually told me that the Mega Drive version is worth picking up, Dai Nakamura, which I will be getting, because apparently that version is more faithful to the arcade, but the Super Nintendo is more of a home console version. And the Super Nintendo version is ridiculously difficult. I can't even get off the first stage, it's that hard. So yes, I am looking for Dai Nakamura for the Japanese Mega Drive because I want to play that, because it looks really cool. I was always put off because in Super Play there's like a really, back in '92 when the SNES was coming out, they got a screenshot comparison, and the Mega Drive one looks dark and muddy and just depressing, and the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom at the time is really bright and gorgeous, and the graphics look beautiful. So that's always put me off. But then when Craig told me there was totally different experiences, I thought, yeah, I'm going to pick it up on the Mega Drive, so I will be getting that, and then I'll give you a feedback and let you know which one I prefer. So there you go, guys, that's all the questions this week. Thank you very much to everyone who asked me a question. I don't know how long it's been, I'll find out when I turn the camera around, but yeah, it's been a long video. So thank you very much for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, as always. If you do have a question for me, leave it in the comment section below and I'll answer that next Friday. The cut-off is Wednesday because I film these videos on a Thursday and upload on a Friday. So please remember that, that's great. And thank you very much for watching, guys. Please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday.